Chinsa ni Isato na ndo mwanchi umurigere bone kerongo egenda munanogendrete kwego kya kubwatia mirobirionsi yegetaseni kya Ndizi TV nabwo obwansu bwo Gusii kukwariga SMS ya Amayia hiriongo manyinara yana kwariganire asenchira ere yobwekiranu endra gotonyora sesemo ya Facebook Ndizi TV News Digital asensemo ya YouTube tubwatwetera Ndizi TV News aso mutandao Twitter nabo twitwetera @Ndizi TV News boigo ase website yeto nigora tonyora wetera www.ndizitv.or.ke erio togendre gukumanya naboigo gusanga amanke eritoriane Evelino Sero oritokubateranere kwene kya wikira sense bimenyererio nigakorokwa Joshua Uta kabana into ikomoerio Kwari anto chake korwase county ya Kisii awase omukagerwa monene asobotkibo kunererwa kwa mwana bwe myaka 3 junior sagini oyobwetega kubwatwa aborit kuregoro asensemo ya Kasarani meomucho Nairobi nigo aikiwa bosibwe kigambero ya Kisii omusinia resident magistrate Christine Oweno nigachika omukagerwa ya serieta Pacifica Nyakerario kobekwa byara osego tangwa segetaseni kyabanyanyimbo ase egeka kyamatukane awasara chiwikiwa bosibwe kigambero ritkoria ijuma eikeye erio kwegerera
Gusii abasikari bakunyara gukora bwairire esababu ekogero ogotambo okobere sel esenyecho aye nomushukiwa omonene asekireke ibo bakunyara gukora paka obuchunguzi bwairire erinde banyari kumanya iki kyaberete omwana Isaato
Hunentre moyo koene kiabuna amachinaro ase chiskuru ero kwa baroki wachinga kinyorora samasomabo ni yikombeke mo kemanyikante buna top talent itkulia lero kiabage wikase skuru y'abanyaruka ya manga yo gotoka mbie county ya Nyamira na kwena na obokonyi bwetangi negento aborokia na baiga baroki wabagokera na wakangambia mono na tokumanyiwa no morikeito Mildred Mumanyi
Amache na yengencho asobotumeki bwakera lituko ase chinsemo ao bunachinga chiskuru gatie chinde Imeya skuru y'abaiseke ya manga yegotoka county ya Nyamira nigo abaiseke bagokeire okwego wetangi yechirita chiri bwikomi kurwase ekiombe ekemo kurwa mache ngumbugia top talent agency eliokeania omuchando bwa mache ase abaorokia babo batabisa omogokobo bagwa kangambu ya mono
twabwatobo kongubwa mache abaiseke bale kwenda boya mache kurwale matukandi banyora mbali konyara gusibino n'ekyanga twagokira senyenchu ya top talent agencies batokonyire tangi ya 10,000 liters egere abana bacho banyora amache banyare ko babago sibicyanga cyabo abokongu boli bakonyora so gutesi bibono twarorire ngabwa keire una abaisike na kimogo teba samanga nayo.
We are so happy. We thank you for the partnership and you are welcome to feast us another day where we shall welcome you and we shall continue this kind of relationship for some time because the girls are going to be happy with the water. We have solved our problem of water and we want to thank God that because of that even our performance will improve.
Abarokiwa abobo igor bagokera na guchengera ogocha wetangeyo nigo bakangambu ya mono.
Babiri to konyorobo kongubonge asola mache twari kwenda ruchene bas alafu amache yo karo twaeretire twasanga abantu na batatu arenga makesana lakini mune tangia shire bono bokongo bumbori go chikoba towote abanya asanti
jengo bakerambya mona sengencho mwateretire tangi bono mbako nyara kwenda roche baso basime basome
Asante.
Dominic Obadia oyore omoteneri bwe kiombe gya Civility Tours oyo nainde obwaterana ne kiombe gya Top Talent Agency iliyogokirania eira yokoreta etangi nigonera bwatayaiga
ntu achitega igas Manga Girls tukanyora abana bega abaiseke ba Manga Girls babate challenge ya mache abaginare tutekuru Beverly Hills California kolia America bakabakonya bakahidinga bacha barete bakarepromise bacha barete tangi kegere bacha gokonya abana beiga bakogenda roche asatambe which poses a risk asabana banyaruka dero iga na fulfill a promise so ngota bangambia munase a company ya Top Talent Agency ekorau na David Fegan na Isabel Donadio bia mwana so gokonya Manga Girls tugosabanga na ande mambi ko muranyole kende mukonya abana beiga kegere mambi abana babaraiba mambia bacha gotokonya
ase chinga kyecho nigo omukonyi bwo mwalimu omonene bwe skuru eyo aira libagali abene na kugania abaiboli kubaikange abana babo anene aseruse yaiga erentambe
mwirende munaino abana abaiseke mangana na manga ko banyora mwanyore nga mwirendire kegima mosali obogima bwino bwa mambia abaiboli abana bakabago changa na basabire mubeka abaiboli abana ba ange mobabekange moborokereri munyoko ba akero babwate boko ngubonde bonsi bakukwana nainwe mobe ange kegima kubategerera ande bono moko bare morengereri ngabana begekero bakorire skuru ngaigo bono moko bachwara mobaikange ande mogenderere ko basemya rituko gochia serinde
Guripoteria egetaseni kya Ndizi TV elitaliane Mildred Momanyi
Miyamano murikeito Mildred Momanyi ase oroboti orurikiranu umurobere bwo gusangereria birengererio korwa 7 igore ya magendera libaganitia korekane aso mwako yo gusino mwako gocha nabaigo amatukari bosio nigo okorekana litkoria rero ase ebunge ya West Mugrango anene ase ewodi ya Bunyamatuta okwana chinga kie cha sensemo ya viongozi eyo gotoka kebirigo nigo omubunge o West Mugrango Steve Mogaka abaga koenekia buna nigo arachiego ikirania ali abanainchi bamuganiriye abakorere muri kitiko rwase county yo job mangi norboti rwase nchira yubwikiranu
buna enchira eyamwe gukinya magenderero nigo omubunge West Mugrango Steve Mogaka agenderete gusangereria ebirengereri byabamenyi asichi wodi sano chire imeye bunge yo ejichire township bugichora Bunyamatuta Nyamaiya na Busamaro
Kenya we have proposed hiyo shule inaendelea kujidimia. Tafadhali uende na viongozi hao wote uongee na community.
Ase wodi ya Bunyamatuta niga bamenyi bumira na sensemo ya viongozi kebirigo ase barua ebirengereri byabo. Gatiyo kugani kwa bamenyi nuko agacho gwechipara elinde kororo bya obosombi.
Na maini pare kyo ya watu metano sana kwa mano mne para ya Bondeni Magombo pare ya Extrani ama tuka mange sana
asabande basaba obolendi gotingigwa okobeko gwechita ya cyoborabu okorwego gwechibasari bwanjireri bonde botayo.
Please come to schools and come to make proposals. Please to those schools where senior members come and ask the head teachers what problems are you undergoing, what do you need, so that you also implement.
Materials to equipment and it will free our skill try to make living.
Omubunge West Mugrango Steve Mogaka narwa eira kuligereria ebirengereri byamenyabo ekero arabega okora magenderera yo
esu bukulide yaki onye torai kinonye majika noene pingia ye mazi mwa tumete utawoka pantumbali kororanga so baru tabuchi no to solve problem with yechipara kama tugurugoro na baro barali ase committee batokonyere gusukuru oke abantu batarata buka
kago kwana ensemeyo omokonyi bo county commissioner Florence Obunga nate bamba begete meroberio elinde kotingia obolendi chinga kichichemeyega Yesuguku.
Sisi kama kamati wa usalama tumeweka mikakati ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba wananchi wa West Mugirango ama Nyamira South watakuwa na usalama wa kutosha. Bodaboda tulishaongea na bado tunasema ikifika saa 4 wewe funga kazi uende ulale, kwa sababu you need to rest ndio upate nguvu ya kufanya kazi.
Kuruase kaunti ya Nyamira, Ginko reporter ya Ndizi TV, Job Maangi.
Mia mano umurikito Job Maangi ase oraboti ororikiranu koru ase county ya Nyamira. Togotigana nayo nigo mokonyi bomurai wense Rigathi Gachagua abeirega kugania umuroberi ogose obosombi ase bugatagati bomucho Nairobi kogendera buna butambe erio konyora chinga kinyororo uchakora chingwa na choko iwana no mugavana we county ya Nairobi Johnson Sakaja yani gagocha magega ya Sakaja kurugo chika buna chigari chonsi cha matatu echo chiko imokeri abantu ase obugatagati bomucho yo ogotiga limorioka boigo Gachagua nigaine kiabuna nigo bagochikubwatrana ne serikali ya county ya Nairobi kwene kiabuna obonchorera na boigo bosombi bwaberi bugukiniwa
na nimemuita tukae chini na yeye. Mambo yoyote ambaye anaamua ambaye anaweza haribu biashara katika Nairobi, kwanza tuongee tukubaliane. Hatutaki speed mingi sana, twende pole pole. Si ndio? Hiyo maneno ati ya kutoa matatu nini, hiyo maneno haiwezekani. Sitaki tuanze kusumbua wafanyabiashara. Na huyu msichana wetu Susan Kihika tunapongeza yeye kwa kuchunga wafanyabiashara. Anatatizwa kupelekwa kotini wapi tunamwambia angangane. Sakaja ni kijana mzuri, ni governor, nitamketisha chini. Tutakubaliana vile wafanyabiashara watakaa Nairobi bila kusubuana sana. Mngetaka nimketishe chini? Tukubaliane na yeye, tulimsaidia na vile tulimsaidia tutaketi chini na yeye tukubaliane vile tutakaa.
Nechinga kiechi abantu bagenderete kuyarigania semeyega Yesu kuna bego kwarigani omwaka muye wechi 2023 nigo muwaziri boburendi bweme Kithure Kindiki arurege kurege tindi go cyasa batumeki naboigo abaunya bemnyuwa byogotindia anene biria bitancheri ukwana bariki amangana Kindiki nigate biru na onde bwensi orachikonyorekana nigo araimokeriwa egetambo kerokeri chiko ase aboriri abantu bonsi kwerenda chinga kiechi.
We want to serve notice on the profiteers who have consistently preyed on the merrymaking season to sell dangerous drinks and illicit alcoholic drinks, that we will be on your case, and the harm that you're causing to the country is equivalent to the harm that every other criminal is causing to our country. I say no more on that. Finally, during this season, we also note that the merrymaking has in many instances also led to the exploitation of children, including sexual violation. Therefore, I have directed all the national government administrative officers, regional commissioners, county commissioners, deputy county commissioners, assistant county commissioners, chiefs, assistant chiefs, and Nyumba Kumi officials to make sure that they go out of their way to make sure that during this season, we do not have our children abused through sexual exploitation.
Na sensemo yaye umuwaziri w'echipara n'obosombi Kipchumba Murkomen niga kwanira igoro yemebasukano y'echipara yekwene kiwaritko aserinde askeri ateba buna ogotabwati amachiko y'epara nabaigo ogotaba maiso kwa bantereba na kwanene gokoirera emebasukano buneyo kokorekana namono niga boririe byombe byonse bitenerete amangana y'obosombi bwa para kwene kiyango bwatana nabalenege koskyo borendi erio kobeka gose okora umusako mutindi asechipara kwene kyabuna abantereba ngo bwati bara amachiko
We have accidents in the country, and I read for you the statistics earlier. It is clear that all these reasons are human error, outright human error. In fact, we are misusing the word accidents, because accidents presuppose that it is an accident. But in this situation, you realize that the statistics given indicate that people are outrightly becoming reckless and negligent and causing deaths directly. In fact, going forward, Parliament should think, and all of us should think through, perhaps actual punishment that ensue to those who cause road accident, particularly when it is found that it is actually outright reckless actions of individuals, should attract even more serious punishment to ensure that people become more careful in the road. So personal responsibility, that's why we are talking about raising more awareness. We have also taken responsibility to ensure that the institutions like the CS Interior spoke about, who are involved in charge of enforcement. I mean, we wouldn't like to stop people on the road and inspect vehicles and delay traveling. But what do you do if the information is clear that if people are left to personal choice and decisions and personal responsibility, they cause this number of deaths that we see here?
Kamati yachoretwe n'umurai wense Dr. William Samoei Ruto eriyo gokorobo tukigoro yobokoreri bwa commissioner banebe kiombe kyobochori ne chimbebe IBC abo bamanyikanite bunacherera fo nigo litkolia rero bachaka ebikaro bene byogotegerera ekine kyo bakorawa n'omunachie bina ase kigambiro kia appeal agree mujelule igokwana chinga kiecho nigo omuwakili o Irene Masit Donald Kipkorir abaga kugania ekiombe gose kamati eyo kwera alia gosekwerera obosaiti obonke igoro ya Masit askeria korengana nerate babuna obosaiti bolibwa bete bokubekwa bolitangani no bwabonega tibobwekaini.
For your argument that what was before the Supreme Court or the Departmental Committee should not be raised before this tribunal, how about what you call the new evidence? Is it not factual in nature that it ought to be tendered? Then if need be, cross-examination is done, or preliminary objection as to now the tendering of that evidence.
Isn't that a change of the character of the petitions?
And they include witness statements. They include statements from petitioners. Now I'm asking you that because if you remember Mukisa biscuit case, appeal proceeds on the basis on the assumption that the facts pleaded by the other side are correct. So in raising your appeal, you are proceeding on the basis that the facts that have been pleaded through their statements and through their documents are correct. Is that my understanding?
No.
The powers and the mandate of this tribunal arises directly from the Constitution. The answer of jurisdiction is well settled in terms of evidence. It's well settled by the Supreme Court.
Karo kebunge ye Senate nigo giacha kabene erio gotegerera igoro yokorusia bisi kumu governor we county ya Meru Kawira Mwangaza awase kare kikabage kora wano monogeri bwe bunge ye Senate Amason Kingi oyobaga kubwatuka amamocha yo abekeretwe omo governor we county yo okwana chinga kiecho Kingi boigo nigo asoma marieta yaba senator abo barachi ekobera ase kamati erio eyera Korinkoria amamochayo abekeire Mwangaza.
Charge 2. Incitement, bullying, vilification and misleading campaigns against other leaders. The particulars of this allegation include 1. Humiliation of the Meru County Assembly Minority Leader, vilification of the Meru County Assembly Minority Whip and other leaders. 3. Vilification of the Senator of Meru County. 4. Vilification of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture. 5. Vilification of the Member of the National Assembly for Tigania East Constituency. And lastly, vilification of the Catholic Church and clergy. Charge number 3. Forceful entry into the County Assembly precincts and mobilization of unlawful riots against members of the County Assembly. Pursuant to Section 33(3)(b) of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 81B, the Senate resolved to establish a special committee comprising of the following senators. 1. Senator Dr. Boni Kalwale. 2, Senator Jackson Mandago. 3, Senator Karungo Thagwa. 4, Senator Esther Okenyuri. 5, Senator Roba Ali Ibrahim. 6, Senator Peris Tobiko. 7, Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech. 8, Senator Joseph Kithuku Kamau. 9, Senator Edwin Sifuna. 10, Senator Agnes Kavindu Muthama. And lastly, Senator Jones Mwaruma, to investigate the proposed removal from office of the Governor of Meru County and pursuant to Standing Order 82 to report to the Senate within 10 days of its appointment on whether or not it finds the particulars of the allegations against the Governor to have been substantiated.
Waziri w'oburendi Eden Duale nigo egereire amachiko y'edini y'ege Islamu ase keria berega kumochia bali bakweroka abarai nabo igo kobuna amachikayo kurengana Duale abange babo nigo barenka barai chingaki choburai bwaye umuske urumwiga Kenyatta asibona tairubna serikali enyerororo nigo irachikochora abarai abaya abo barachieko abosaba barachieko renda amachiko y'edini y'ege Islamu.
There are people, and I want the media to quote me, there are people who purport to represent Muslim interests in our country. They wear kanzu, they wear the kofia. They have been created by the former regime to divide the Muslims, to speak about the Muslims. They are led by a man called Juma Ngao. Today I am putting you on notice. You don't represent Muslims, Juma Ngao. You represented Kibicho and Matiangi and the Uhuru government that left. There is a new government that respects Muslims. And the leadership that this government recognizes is Subkem, is Masjidul Jamia, is the office of the Chief Qadi, is Namlef, and all our ulamas. We will make sure our girls wear hijab. Yes. If you have a problem with hijab, our girls and our wives and our sisters wearing hijab, and you are in Kenya, then you better leave this country because they will wear hijab.
Kamati etenenerete amangana yencharano murakera nigo yaburiri abantu kugendera wesoke na kurobo konyi guciase abantu bali bakirwe no muchando iwencharano murakera anene kerogendrete kwenekiwa ase Chinsemo au gati yabo chi county emeronke 3 yekorawa no mo bisomo nene herededan nigo batebire buna ekerengo yechiringi chi bilioni emeronke 5 na isano na ibere na cyo kiganeriye eriyo gukora umuchando yo nigo bayige kyombekyo kyaganirie aba Kenya kwene kyabunango smeka bare aimete asobonge bunenchiremo yogo konya gukora imechandi yekoretwa kubwatikana no gucenche kwerire.
To March we expect dry spell which will reverse any recovery from October-November rains in the ASAL counties. We have a resource gap of 57.36 billion Kenya shillings to address the issue of drought. And the first is the issue of cash transfer, water intervention, livestock, health and nutrition, education, peace and security.
Every Kenyan can make a difference to another Kenyan. There's 4.3 million people who are affected. The other 45 million can make a big difference to the lives of those who are affected. So every shilling matter, every meal that gets onto the table matters. So the mobilization committee will really focus on ensuring that we target the whole resource mobilization, both to address the near term but also the long term.
25% of the clean service water that we get in the country come from the forested catchment areas. You can imagine what would have been for this drought if we still didn't have our protected ecosystems. What would have happened if we didn't have water flowing from our rivers? You couldn't even talk about damming or even agriculture supported by irrigation because you still have to talk about water. When you talk about water, whether it is rain-fed or whether it is irrigation, you still have to bring the question of forestry and trees on it.
Haba waziri batano na batato omurikyo yomo nabo igome umwegereri werichiko ase county ya Kwale nigo batianiwa irogo chako bokoreri bene gochiase abananchi bensemeyo ukwana somuyego yum governor bwe county ya Kwale Fatuma Chane nigaboria abawaziri abo kubwatirana n'abarayibonsi kurwase county ya Kwale eryogo ikirania ariaganeirie n'abananchi boigo umuwaziri mining Salim Vura nigo boigo aborio kubwatirana eryokoreta magenderero ase kaunti ya Kwale na boigense ya Kenya.
Ile nafasi ambayo mmepatiwa leo ni nafasi ya kuwa tujengeni Kwale yetu iwe nzuri. Na ukiona wabunge wamekuja pamoja, MCAs wamekuja pamoja, inaashiria ya kuwa ile kazi ambayo unaifanya wewe kama unaifanya Msambweni sub county, itakuwa ni vizuri pia mbunge ajua unafanya nini ndani ya constituency ile.
Jukumu yenu ni kuielewa, jukumu yenu ni kuiboresha, ndiyo kazi iweze kufanyika vizuri kwa wananchi. Siri peke yako ukitaka kufaulu kwa hii kazi ya kaunti vile nimeona. Hiyo manifesto sasa ubebe kwa sababu wewe una manifesto. Ama namna gani? Ile siku utapoteza network kwa hiyo manifesto kimeumana.
Wikirega bano mwancho muri nongo korera Amayia Chinsa Isato asenchera ere yobwekera nungo wakira ngambia muno asogochora kubananchi wikomeryo bali bonsto bato kubatirana nabwo kwene kyabuna mangana wikeire na barabuni gonko bakira ngambia muno iro nabakogendera gotonyora sesemere ya Facebook wetera Ndizi TV News Digital asesemo ya YouTube tonyora wetera Ndizi TV News nabogo twitwetera @Ndizi TV News waigo ase website ito ni wora tonyora wetera www.ndizitv.or.ke eryo togendere gusanga amange ngukanelyo burigereri boro buyachinga kichonsi me ya Ndizi TV nabwo bwansubo mugusi naboigo obotko boro botoherero retariane Evelyn Osero tobwatrana nere Joshua Uta kwene kya wikeira sense muyimenyerero nere Petronira Mukeira kwene kya buna chibichaneryo gicha wikeira senchira ya bene.